Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win, or you find a way to lose, or you find a way to put the duck sauce on the fried rice. If you listen to these boxing fans. So right now, let me tell you something, man. That's what makes doing this shit so fun to me. Y'all probably say, God damn, Hood Champion putting out 1,000 videos. Yo, man, I'm a retired guy. I enjoy this. Like, I enjoy talking about boxing. I enjoy joking, and I got an opportunity to do it here. It cost me nothing except a little bit of time. And I got a channel coming. Another channel coming. It's called I'm Just Effing Joking, where you get to see a bit more of my sense of humor. Real stories I'm going to give you. But instead of putting them in these boxing videos, I'm going to do another channel. And I think you're going to enjoy it. But anyway, that doesn't have nothing to do with this. Boxing fans are saying Tszyu and Fundora are putting duck sauce on the fried rice. They're saying Tszyu and Fundora know if they were to go out here and Tszyu was to fight Crawford and Fundora was to fight Spence, that they would both lose and probably get beat so bad that their careers would be over. Now, I read that in several posts on my channel, and I read that shit on the most toxic place in social media, which is Twitter. And I said, God damn, people don't understand what's going on here. Maybe there's a little bit of have the rematch. Well, first of all, maybe it's a little bit of an obligation, right? It's a contract in place. Maybe this is one of those have to things that are going on between Tszyu and Fundora, okay? So maybe that's what it is. But in addition to that, right, contractual obligation, maybe it's a little bit of, hold on a second. In order to keep these two belts between us, let's make sure we fight, right? But then we can do it in Australia now. You know how big this fight's going to be? Tszyu and Sebastian Fundora. The first fight, everybody, it's a waste of time. Not spending my money to watch that on pay-per-view. Who's going to watch it? Not even the Aussies. Oi, 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 you're going to want to see Tszyu fight Fundora. The down under man against the cockroach man. Nobody wants to see this shit. Oh, they're not saying that now. Everybody talking about this fight. And everybody going to be tuned in. Because you know what left an imprint on people's minds? How the fight was going before Tszyu had a goddamn gaping hole in his head and his brains were falling out all over the ring. That's the imprint left in people's mind. How Tszyu was probably maybe 1 or 2 rounds away from putting the Aussie Bing Bings on Fundora and putting Fundora down and out for the count, right? That's what. But then when the cut happened, we know the direction the fight went. So now, Tszyu versus Fundora 2, they can have a proper lead up, proper training camps. They can do the proper, what's that shit called, like the all access and all that. It's going to be huge. My thing is, where are they going to have the fight? Now, this is a whole nother video, right? I could save this, Location is the problem, I could spin it a kind of way and do a whole nother video on how the location could be a problem for the rematch. But really, if you ask me, right, and I think even they would agree, if Fundora has any sense, I understand he's got the 2 belts. I get it. But goddamn, have the fight in Australia. I know people are like, no, he shouldn't do that. It's going to be an uneven playing field. Tszyu's not the A side anymore. Yo, the A side is the person who brings the money. They can go fight out there in Australia. Let me tell you something. The Aussie, oi, 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 they're going to come out to that shit. I don't know what's the largest stadium they got out there. I'm sure they probably have a stadium capacity of over 80,000. I'm sure that shit would fill up. This could be an opportunity for Fundora to make like 8-10 million. I mean, what's the chances of Cockroach Man fighting somebody making that kind of money? I think he'll get that no problem. Going over there fighting in Australia. They're going to put up the money for that. The site fees are going to be there. It's going to be huge. Huge. Now, they got to be careful now because, you see Tony Harrison was in a matchbox. Them rings aren't all that big. In Australia, I don't know. They're using kangaroo skin to make them rings or whatever, the canvas, so there's the limited material and shit. But all I know is them rings they're not the biggest rings. So Fundora is gonna have to figure some shit out. But the bottom line is, I think that has a whole lot to do with it. Is the contractual obligation, number one. Two is, you know what, if we fight, let's say Tszyu wins, right? Well, then they have a trilogy. So you could see these guys saying, no, we're going to keep this going. We're going to keep the party going and get a trilogy out of this. And I think that's great. Because let me tell you something. Tszyu, this is where guys being honorable and men of integrity come into play. Fundora obviously has that. Tszyu, I truly believe he has that. If he wins, I can see him saying, look, we're 1-1, unless he just tranquilizes and destroys Cockroach Man, right? But I can see him saying, nope, we're 1-1, let's have a third fight. And especially if it's somewhat competitive, have a third fight right there in Australia again. Now, if Fundora wins again and in the rematch, well, it's over. But if Tszyu wins, have a trilogy. And then both of them go out there and make another 8-10 million. And Fundora's straight. He don't need to mess around with Spence and Crawford. Everything that he wanted to accomplish in boxing, well, I don't know what all he wanted to accomplish, so let me not just come out here and make an assumption, right? But I would assume the number one priority for these guys is to make good money. Within 3 fights with Tszyu, Fundora can find himself making between 15 and 20 million. You know? Hey, you won. You come into boxing in a short period of time and made 15, 20 plus $1 million. What do you care? Unless you just have a desire to want to go out here and try to become undisputed or some shit. But I'm going to tell you, this could be the direction that they're going. And I don't think personally that they're ducking Crawford and Spence. The guys who have all the marbles, Tszyu and Fundora, what's Crawford and Spence going to do at 154? See, this is the reality of the thing. See, when people start talking crazy, right? Because they don't want to sit here and just do their research. Like, I don't need to sit here and do a deep dive on anything. I can just come here. I hate when these pop-ups just decide to want to visit you. You know what I'm saying? Let me close out this goddamn pop-up. But I'm gonna show you what Crawford and Spence are up against. Right here. Okay? This is what they're up against. If Fundora and Tszyu fight 3 times for the WBO and WBC belt, that's once, twice. So that's, I mean, we get now to 2025, probably by the summer, to where whoever the winner ends up being the winner of the trilogy, right? That's when they'll become available. So between now, about a year and some change, you have Crawford and Spence, they got to fight somebody. So now they're looking at here at 154. I mean, who are they going to fight at 154? There was somebody want to fight Madrimov, Mendoza, Lubin, maybe, Jamel Charlo, who's the lineal champion. Maybe that's an opportunity now. Or is Earl Spence going to fight Jamel for the lineal? That's the title that matters. Somebody going to fight Kolke, Bohachuk. Somebody going to fight Conwell, Sorrow, Ramos. Those names don't really sound all that interesting. You come and look at the ranking stack. Lubin's name jumps out because we know his name. You got Josh Kelly and Xander Zayas, who I think is on his way but not ready for those guys. Virgil Ortiz, who I just personally think the first time he gets into a very competitive fight, which he has a fight coming up, I got to double check who the name of the opponent is he's fighting. But I think Virgil Ortiz I think his run is over. If he looks good in this fight, then I'll recant my statement. But right now, I just think Virgil Ortiz's run is over. That beast that was there before all of the rhabdomyolysis, I think that beast is gone. I think the rhabdo took a pound of flesh out of Virgil Ortiz. But really, when you look at, everything else, Butaev is up at 154 now, okay. So Butaev is a problem. But really, I mean, what's really there? You know what I'm saying? There's some fights to be made, but not the big money fights. I don't know, man. I don't know what Crawford and Spence are going to do. They just need to fight each other. But bottom line is, Tszyu and Fundora, and they ain't putting no duck sauce on the fried rice. You got smart people who are sitting there saying, hey, look, let's not go out here and kill ourselves. We have an opportunity to ride this wave and get into a trilogy. Just us working together, F everyone else. Because no one's going to love you like you love yourself. It's okay to be a self-licking lollipop. You know what I'm saying? Do it. And I think that's what they're going to do. But we just got to wait and see. But for those of y'all saying they're putting duck sauce on the fried rice, yeah, I don't know about that. I think what they're showing these guys is, you know what, y'all not going to come out here and strong arm us to do what you want us to do. Shit, we got an agreement. The sanctioning bodies are cool. Now, if the sanctioning bodies come out and decide to strip somebody, well, then now you know the secret society, they're pushing for to make sure their own agenda is met, and they're not doing the right thing. Now, you sit back and watch. See, now we got something to pay attention to. This whole shit I be talking about, the secret society is in full effect. People are like, oh, man, he's got on his tinfoil hat. Boom, I got the tinfoil hat on and shit. But don't take a man with any common sense or any depth to really see, like, there's some shit going on here. Maybe because of my experience, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't always a hood champion character. I'm far from slow. I can spot bullshit. And when I look at this, you can see the bullshit. You can just watch the movements, man. Don't take a blind man to see. There's people behind the scenes, man, pushing for things. These fighters, maybe they have a little bit to do with it. They can affect change on a minuscule level. But really, they're not the guys out here who are just like calling the shots. That's not the case. You know what I'm saying? Those guys out there following order. Yes, sir. That's what they're doing. Those are the yes, sirs. Anyway, y'all keep cool. Shout out to the veterans. Tszyu and Fundora. Are they ducking? Nah, they're not ducking. I think these guys are out here being very strategic and saying, you know what, we're going to do things our way. And they're going to get that money. So expect a trilogy. That's what I expect. Unless Sebastian Fundora wins this rematch, which I think this rematch is going to be interesting. Neither one are going to fight the same. And I think Tszyu is going to go for the gusto. He can't sit back and let Fundora, a.k.a. Cockroach Man, pick him apart with that 10-inch jab, put them 10 inches all up in his mouth. He can't sit back and let that happen. He's going to have to get in there and try to, break out the glasses in the basement, you know what I'm saying, then go up top. He's going to have to do that. That's the only way. Keep that fight close and just put the Aussie beans on him. If not, Fundora could slice and dice his ass up because Fundora obviously has got something special about him. He doesn't look like much in the ring, but nobody just really running up on him and steamroll him. Obviously, Fundora's got some pop. He's got that reach. He's got the leverage. There's something special about Fundora. But I think the rematch is going to be more exciting than the first fight because there's going to be a lot of anticipation. Let's just hope it meets our expectations, right? In the breeze.